when I finished high school, I wasn't exactly a great student, not because I wasn't smart, but because I was interested in, chasing things that weren't taught in the classroom. And so as a result, I didn't go directly to college. I went to junior college, and there, for whatever reasons, I, put my life back on track and started working hard, and actually got pretty good grades. And instead of what I wanted to do was transfer to Berkeley. That was the only thing that I wanted to do. And I listened to a career counselor who said, "Oh, you only have a 3.6 GPA, even though you're honors roll status, you don't have good enough GPA to get into Berkeley, and you shouldn't even try." And I listened to this lady. I don't know why. I just assumed, okay, she works here, she knows what she's talking about. And I didn't even bother filling out the paperwork or even trying to do that. And what happened was years later, I talked to friends, and they said, "Oh yeah, I got into Berkeley, transferred, and the worst GPAs than mine, and easily got into Berkeley." And what I learned after that is something like 25% of students drop out after the first year transfer or something like this. So in order to keep the attendance high, they take transfers a lot easier with less significant GPAs and whatnot than they take for the first year students. So if anybody ever tells you you can't transfer in, don't believe them, or at least verify.
Yeah, ask a few more people.
Well, it's not so much advice, but it's something that I hear often, and I'm sure a lot of people might disagree with me, but I hear, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't necessarily agree, because I think, sure, it might not be broke, things might be going fine, but it's good to reevaluate things every now and then. It doesn't mean just because it's not broken doesn't mean it can't be improved. And whether that's your marketing or any kind of your business processes or your day-to-day business plan, just because things aren't burning to the ground doesn't mean that you might not want to look at them and say, well, what can we do better? How can we improve? How can we be more efficient? And so that's what a lot of people tell me is, if this isn't broken, why do I need to look at fixing it? And I say, don't look at it as fixing it, just reevaluate things. And I think that's something that more people should that's a philosophy I think more people should adopt, and not wait until it's broken to try to fix it.
Oh, that's an easy one. The worst advice I was ever given was to invest $5,000 in a pharmaceutical company that tanked within a couple of months.
I think bad advice just comes from people who seem to do an awful lot of talking and not a lot of acting. So in other words, they're really full of a lot of advice, but they don't really live it in their own world.
I think it was someone who was mentoring me as a producer who told me that the only thing that was necessary to be a successful producer was purely to look at it as a numbers game. It was a numbers game. If I talked to enough people and I took enough of them through the sales funnel, I couldn't help but be successful. And that individual was totally off base. I mean, obviously, you need to speak to a lot of people, but there are so many other things that come into play as a producer. But his focus was all about talk to a bunch of people. The more you talk to, the more you're going to say yes, the more you're going to be successful. But I didn't think that was true, and I still don't think that's true today.